All right, thanks for joining me today. I went out quadding early in the morning on almost no sleep, but I had a great time. And before I left, I managed to sneak out my predictions for the Vegas Canucks series, so you can check that out. But today, we're going to talk about these two clubs, the Flyers and the Islanders, and my prediction for them in round two here. Now, a little side note before I get started. All the stats that I'll be talking about will be related to pre-round two. So they're only going to be including round one and the round robin and play-ins as well. Keep that in mind. Today's Sunday afternoon/evening on August 23rd. The Flyers and Islanders will start their series tomorrow. And let's get to it, shall we? Now, the Flyers beat the Canadiens in that series 4-2. But, funny enough, this is the only series in this playoffs, and as far back as I can remember, I can't think of any where the losing team actually scored more than the winning team in this series. Montreal outscored Philadelphia 13-11. Yeah, well, we're talking about two really good goaltenders in Price and Hart. And more than that later, really. The Islanders beat the Capitals in their series 4-1. They made short work out of them. They were quite impressive. And they outscored Washington 17-8. A Trotz defensive team outscored the other club, a high-scoring club like Washington, by 9 goals. 9 goals. Wow. The special teams, power play, New York Islanders are 11th at the moment with a 15.8% power play. Philadelphia is 19th with a 10.3%. Both of these kind of suck, let's be honest. The penalty kill, Philadelphia is 13th right now, 80.7%. New York Islanders is 17th with a 75% success rate, which is a little strange for a defensively responsible, successful team to have kind of a off penalty kill. Yeah. I'm speaking a little slower because, lack of sleep. Moving on. Let's talk about point leaders. Now, specifically those with 9 points and up so far in these playoffs. New York Islanders have 2 players, and we're talking about Josh Bailey, who's got 10, who's tied for 4th at the moment, and Beauvillier, who's got 9 and is tied for 5th. Philadelphia has 0 players with 9 or more points so far in these playoffs, but does have 1 with 8, and I'm talking about Jakub Voracek. Now, when it comes to goal leaders with 5 or more goals so far in these playoffs, the Islanders have 1, and that's Beauvillier with 6, and he's tied for 1st. No, I didn't stutter, and yes, I double-checked that. Philadelphia has 0 right now, but does have 1 player with 4 goals, and that's Voracek. But the Islanders also have a player with 4 goals, and that's Peugeot. He's just killing it. What a great acquisition that was for him. Now, let's jump into some goalie statistics here. Carter Hart has a .943 save percentage, depending on where you look, because some sites have him as .914, which is very strange, including Sportsnet. But on the NHL.com and ESPN, they got him have him at .943. So that's what I'm going with right now. And that's in 7 games, and that makes him 3rd overall in goaltenders in the playoffs. But amongst active goaltenders, he is numero uno. Varlamov, the starting goalie for the Islanders, has a .934 save percentage. Impressive as well in 9 games. He's tied for 10th so far in these playoffs. And when it comes to backups, Elliott has a .913, not too shabby in 2 games. He's 16th overall in the playoffs. And Greiss, the backup for the Islanders, who hasn't played any games so far in this reboot, did have a .913 save percentage in 31 games during the regular season. So there's that. I don't see him playing it anytime soon. Varlamov looks pretty solid. Now, who do I think is going to win this series? If you asked me before the pause that these who would win in a playoff series between these two teams at the moment, I'd say Philly. That high-powered offense, that forechecking, the fact that they're a Vigneault team. Everywhere he goes, the first 3 years, he just creates magic. They're amazing at shutting down teams, by the way, in the third period when they have the lead, with the exception of the Islanders during the regular season, funny enough. And they've had a real hard time scoring so far after the pause. So that's kind of an issue. Couturier, Konecki, Giroux, and JVR all have goose eggs right now. So that's a pretty big concern. Those guys are going to have to start putting the puck in the net if they're going to get anywhere past the Islanders in this series. And that's who I'm going with. And I mean, after last year, they swept the Pittsburgh Penguins, and then they lost their mojo against the Hurricanes and got swept themselves. I don't think that's going to happen again. I think they've learned from that series. I think Trotz is too good of a coach to let that happen again. They're just a lot of their players are firing as well offensively this time around, as opposed to last year's playoffs as well. The addition of Pajot has just added a lot of depth and has let them move a lot of pieces around to really to their advantage offensively too. And they've got a pretty solid, a decent anyways defense. And they play a great team defense. So what else is there really to say? Varlamov has looked good, but the Islanders help him look good. I know Hart can definitely steal a series, but I don't think it's gonna. I think it's gonna catch up with him in this one. So yeah, this is my pick. And for those of you who have fast forwarded to the end of this video, who do I pick in this series? Philly's gonna take it in 5 games. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. They're just, the way they're scoring right now is, they're unstoppable. They're a juggernaut. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, which will alert you when my next video comes out, which will be out, I'm not too sure. This is probably be my last video before I get back to my studio with the real lights and real camera and everything. By the way, I apologize for the lack of that in these past few ones. But I'm looking to do a series on like an off-season outlook on each individual team. So look out for that in the coming week. Thanks again so much. Please be kind to each other out there, and I'll see you soon.